Hi everyone, I'm Jenna with Brown Dog Craft Company. Today's Monday, February 24th, 2025, and we're here today for the Storybook Moments class to go. So I'm really excited for class tonight. I will show you the cards we're going to make as well as the card kit and what it looks like when it arrives in the mail. If you're watching live, say hello in the chat, or if you're watching on replay, leave a comment in the comment section. I always try to reply to all the comments that everyone leaves. So you'll have to excuse my voice today. I'm getting over a cold, so I feel fine. I just sound a little funny, and the more I talk, the funnier I sound. So just ignore how I sound. Hi Sharon. Yes, the kit does look like a lot of fun. Thank you. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Karen. Yes, so I love this Storybook Moments Suite. It is in the mini catalog. I didn't pull the mini catalog, but it's like a 4-page suite. So it gets a lot of attention in the mini catalog. Oh, there's Milo. It gets a lot of attention in the mini catalog, and it's really sweet. So it's like a mega suite. It has 2 Stampin' Die bundles. It has 2 DSPs, a 12x12 and then a 6x6, and the 6x6 is really big. The 12x12 DSP comes with cute die cuts, and it comes with pearls and this really pretty pink scalloped ribbon. So the pearls are like antique pearls. They're kind of like a vanilla almost. So I will show you everything. First, let's go over a little bit of housekeeping. So let's see. First, let's talk about Celebration. So there's a few days left for Celebration. About 4 days left. It goes through February 28th. So these are the new items that were added to Celebration. Let's see, I think these alphabet dies are done. But I think everything else is still there. And then there are some other items. So that's Celebration. And to go along with Celebration, that doesn't want to fit nicely. To go along with Celebration, there's a join special. So let me see. All right, I think you can see my screen. Okay, so that's really little, but there's a join special. So I want to go over what the starter kit special is. So if you join during Celebration, which is through February 28th, if you join my team, I'm always looking to add more demonstrators to my team, whether you want to do this as a business or just do this for the discount and be a hobby demonstrator. You get 2 options. So option 1 is $125 worth of product plus your choice of 2 Stampin' Write marker assortment packs and a clean stamp set. So it's a $99 cost. You get $216 in value. Or if you don't want the markers and the stamp set, you can do $125 worth of product plus an additional $30 worth of product, all for just $99. Okay, so there's a couple of different options that you can choose from. I know that's really little. I don't know why. I guess I've never shared my screen before. So, all right. Let's see if I can get rid of it now. There we go. Okay, so that goes with Celebration. Let's look at March Paper Pumpkins. So this is March Paper Pumpkin. You can subscribe. The subscription period is open right now, February 11th through March 10th. It's called Daisy Daydream. It looks really cute. And to go along with that, there's a Paper Pumpkin add-on. It goes with January, February, and March. So you just have to buy the add-on once, and it goes with all 3 kits. So March will have the bee and these little honeycomb dies. February die cuts those images on the right, and then January's, to go with January kits, it'll do the heart, the scalloped heart up on top. Okay, so subscription period is open for that. What else? There's 2 new kits. The first new kit is called Heirloom Arrangements. It's really pretty. I think you get a lot of ephemera in this kit. Butterflies and florals and very spring for that kit. And the kits are generally priced really well. I think they're about $14 here in the US. And here's the second kit, which I absolutely love this one. It's called So Much to Celebrate. Really pretty, very springy again. So I will definitely be getting this one. I love the colors. Let's see. The last thing I think for housekeeping, let's see. Oh, is March online exclusives. So this is just a sample of a couple of the things that are coming. There's 2 new stamp sets shown here, but there's a whole bunch of new online exclusives coming March 4th, which is next Tuesday already. Okay, so this is just an example of 2 of those things. I have a few things for my pre-order, and they're really cute. In particular, there's a floral stamp and die set that has some masks or some stencils that go with it, and I'm really excited for those. They look really cute. So let me turn the camera around and let's talk about the subscription class for February. My kids have sports this week and their schedules are different than normal. So I am moving the February subscription class. We're going to have it on Sunday. Okay, so it will be in March technically, but it'll be for February. So it'll be on Sunday. I want to show you, I have 2 or 3 kits left. I think 2. Let me show you. Let me show you the cards. So the stamp set that we'll be using, it's $45, and you get a full pack of the bees. These are the little bees. You'll get a bunch of the ribbon. And the stamp set that we're using, the bundle, is Delightful Wishes. The stamps and the dies. So you'll want both. I did use the cane weave embossing folder. It will already be embossed for you, so you don't need that. And then I did pull in one of these stamps. And which one did I do that for? Oh, I did it on this card. But you could put anything here. So we make 4 cards in that class. I have 2 or 3 kits left, and these are the cards that we're making. So if you aren't already signed up, this one comes out. It's like a little pocket card. If you aren't already signed up for this class, you can be. Here's this card. This has really pretty vellum along with the DSP in this suite. It's kind of another, I wouldn't call it a mega suite because there's only 1 stamp and die set, but there's lots of paper. And then this one we're going to do a shaped card. So, okay, so there's 4 cards in class. That'll be on Sunday. So if I ship your kit out tomorrow or Wednesday, maybe even Wednesday, it'll get there in time. Okay, so what are we doing tonight? We are doing Storybook Moments. This is what your kit looks like when it comes in the mail. They always come in these nice reusable pouches. And when you get your kit, you'll have these 2 pieces that are kind of sticking out the top. They're both used on 1 card. And then everything in here you'll have lined up. You'll have your DSP, you'll have your envelopes, you'll have your card bases, you'll have your ribbon, you'll have your embellishments, you'll have any die cut pieces that I die cut ahead of time for you. They all will be in here, okay? So you can take everything out. You won't have a full roll of ribbon. I do because I'm just using my own ribbon. And here we have these pearls. The pearls are here. Okay. And then you'll have everything else you need for class here. So this piece on top is going to be for stamping and die cutting, which we will do first. And then everything else is sort of layered here. So we'll go through that as we go. Let me show you what we're using, I suppose. So, Milo, lay down. This uses Storybook Friends and the coordinating dies, and Storybook Garden Patch and the coordinating dies. Okay. We use the scalloped ribbon. I showed that briefly. Here it is. Be using this for class. I did tie your bows this time. And then the antique pearls. So this is the full package that I have. But I need to... Sorry, someone texted me. Okay, and then what are we making for class today? We are making this cute card box. So this is an A2 size card box. Okay, so it will hold all of your cards when we're done. Yours is Petal Pink. This one I made from crumb cake, but we're going to make it in Petal Pink. And then we have 4 cards. So you'll have one card that looks like this. Now, this card I made a couple different variations because you may not have these exact die cut pieces. These are ephemera that come in, just these 2 are ephemera that come in the DSP pack. So I picked images that went together and put them in your little die cut packet. Hi Angelique, hi Cheryl. Okay, so when you open your die cut packet, you may not have the pot and the watering can or the boots and the wheelbarrow, but you'll have something. Okay, so this is sort of the orientation that I chose. You can put yours in any pattern that you like. Okay, so these were just 2 examples. All right, so that will be card 1. This is our second card. So this one uses all those die cut pieces. The plaid DSP. This is from hot air balloon dies. This is our third card. It uses the dies from the die set and the cute little bunnies. We're going to stamp those in just a minute here. Here's the inside of that one. And then this one is a very fancy card. I don't know what to call it. Okay, oh, and it had a bow. The bow just fell off. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and when you open it up, it's extra fancy, extra special. Okay, so we'll make this card today too. This is a cloud die cut from the Bright Skies dies. Okay, but everything else comes from this stamp set. Okay, so bear with my coughing and my scratchy voice. We are going to refer to the PDF that I sent you for class. So if you sign up for class, you get written instructions. This is what they look like, and they have photos and measurements and supply lists and all of that. And we are going to refer to it for how to cut your paper for your box and what to color all of our images in. Thanks, Becky. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so what ink colors do we need? We will need Crumb Cake, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Pecan Pie, Calypso Coral, Cajun Craze, Old Olive, and Pebbled Path. Okay, so those are all the color of ink pads that we'll need. We will go over the markers as we color, I think. So first things first, let's stamp all the images that we're going to stamp and then die cut. Okay, so you'll have a 1/4 sheet of Very Vanilla, and we're going to stamp those in Pebbled Path ink. So I already have my images in here, but I will go over which ones we're going to stamp. Okay. So we're going to stamp this little bunny holding, I think he's holding a turnip or an onion. I'm not really sure. This bunny holding the lettuce or the cabbage. The little baby bunny. This bunny, which I feel like looks like the Easter bunny. I'm going to call him the daddy bunny. And this bunny that I'm going to call the mama bunny. So these are the bunnies that we're going to stamp on our Very Vanilla piece. Okay, and I'm going to use Pebbled Path. Traditionally you would use Memento, but I feel like Pebbled Path gives us a little bit softer look than the Memento. Okay, now I'm only going to color one of the bunnies live during class. I color all the bunnies the same, and I'll show you what they all look like, but I'm not going to color all of them because they're all colored the same. Okay, all right, that looks really good. My chair is really squeaky too. Just really noisy today. All right, my chamois is almost completely dried up too. Forgot to get it wet. Okay, so here we have our images. Get that to the side. All right, okay. Let's pull out what we need. Now, when you have the directions, when you look at each individual card, it will tell you, it'll break down what the bunnies are colored with. Okay, so you can always refer back to here to see how I colored them. Okay, so you get nice instructions. But the bunnies are colored with crumb cake light and dark and petal pink light and dark. And then they're different things that they're either holding or wearing are colored slightly different. So I will tell you what those are colored with, or you can refer back to the PDF. Okay, so when I color, that's Pebbled Path Light. When I color, I like to color with my dark marker first. And when I color in my darker images or my darker spots wherever I think the shadow might be. Okay, so I'm going to color in this big bunny. So I'm going to color a little bit up here, maybe up his ears a little bit, and then around here. And then he would be a little dark there, maybe down his back leg. And then I think he would be dark right here. So that's where I think he would probably have shadows. Now, I'm not an expert at coloring. So if you think his shadows should be elsewhere, by all means, color wherever you think his shadow should be. Now, I'm going to leave this little center portion of him white. And I'm going to blend with my light marker here. Okay. And when you blend, you always want to make sure you're going over what you've already colored and drawing the darker color out some. Okay. If you blend out too much, that's okay. You can always go back with your darker marker and add some more shadow. Now, I want his tummy to be white, but I feel like under his little paws, there would be a little shadow. Okay. All right, now that's how I color every single bunny. Their ears all get colored the same, so I take Petal Pink Dark at the base and blend out with Petal Pink Light. So all their ears look the same. Okay. All right, now his, I'm going to show you because I already have them die cut out. So let's lay them on top and we'll talk about it. Can't get them out of the tray I put them in. Hold on. They're stuck in the tray. I can't pick them up. There we go. Okay, so here's the little daddy bunny. Okay, so I accidentally colored the center of this one with the crumb cake, so I just left the eye part white, whichever way you like better. So his little bow tie is colored with Old Olive. Okay, this is the little mama bunny, so she's colored the same way, and her dress is colored with boho blue. Okay, then we have the little baby bunny. He is just colored with the crumb cake and the petal pink. Now, these little bunny, their coats, his coat and his pants are colored with Lost Lagoon. And then this is Old Olive, light and dark. And then this little turnip, or whatever it is, onion, I colored with Calypso Coral for the vegetable part, and then the leaves with Old Olive. Okay, and then I die cut them out. And I like to use a white gel pen. I use Sakura, the number 10, it's the thickest. You just get them on Amazon. And I like to add little accents. So just a line and 2 little dots is what I do. And I do that after I die cut. If you do it before you die cut, sometimes it gets smushed out. So, okay, so all my little pieces, by the magic of television, are die cut and colored. Okay, so you'll want to go ahead and do that. Now, I think what we're going to do is sometimes we go and cut all of our DSP first and set it aside, but I think for this class, let's cut it project by project. Okay, so Should we do our box first? Let's do the box first. Okay, so when you're looking at the box, we're going to pull out this little template here. It's going to tell us what to remove. So your box is the large piece of petal pink that's in the back of your packet. Okay, it looks like this. It's folded in half. Okay, so what we're going to do is fold and burnish on all the score lines. So this measures 8 1/4 by 11. It's scored on the 8 1/4 inch side at 3/4, 6 3/4, and 7 1/2. And it's scored on the 11 inch side at 4 1/2, 5 1/4, 9 3/4, and 10 1/2. Okay, and then we will cut some pieces out and assemble. All right, I think I got all my pieces. So now we're gonna remove some pieces, but let's make sure we have this in the right orientation. So this down here is the score lines. I have it, it's 8 1/4 here by 11. And what we're gonna remove up on the top, this is the larger portion without score lines up here. I've got the little score lines down here. So when we're up here, if we look at the template, we're gonna remove the pieces that are yellow. So we're gonna remove this piece, this whole thing, and then this little piece here. Okay. So I'm going to get my scissors and we're going to remove this piece and this whole piece. I'm cutting right on the score lines here. So I removed that, and we need this to be free, so we're going to cut through here, and we're going to remove this piece here. When I come in, I'll miter cut this a little, which just means I'm taking the edges off a little. Okay. All right, so this is what we have now. So a little tab here, we still have these pieces. Okay, now we're gonna come in and we're gonna cut up these score lines and remove these little 3 on the end. So we're gonna cut up here. Cut up here. Remove these and remove this. Okay, and I'm gonna miter cut this piece. Okay, now we're gonna come across here. We're gonna miter cut this little corner. Okay, we are going to remove this piece, and as we do so, we're going to miter cut and remove this. As we do so, we will miter cut. Okay, and then we're just going to free this little piece right here. Okay, and miter cut. We will cut up these 2 score lines and miter cut this piece. So let me get all of this out of the way. All right, so this is what we have. Okay, up here, here, okay. All right, so this is the bottom of our box. Hi Nancy Sue. All right, now before we get any further, we're gonna cut our DSP and do our stamping, okay? And we're gonna glue it onto here. So, we need 2 pieces of DSP that measure 4 1/4 by 5 5/8. So the pieces of DSP that we need for our box, if we go through what we have for class here, it's going to be 2 of this pattern right here, okay? So it has this kind of Lost Lagoon swirls on the back and this on the front. Now we're going to want to make sure that we cut it in the correct orientation. So we need it to be 4 1/4 wide by 5 5/8 tall. Let's cut them both at the same time. Okay, so 4 1/4 wide by 5 5/8. So that's 2 little tick marks past 5 1/2. There's 5 1/2 and there's 5 5/8. Okay. So there's our DSP for our box. One is going to go on the front of the box, and one will go on the back. Okay. Let's talk about what else is on the box. You're going to pull out a piece of your DSP. I have already pulled mine out. It's from the plaid, and it has the light. This is what it looks like, okay? So you're gonna pull this piece out and you're gonna die cut from your dies this window from it. Okay, it's this here. Okay, so you'll die cut this piece from this DSP, and you're gonna have a little scrap of white that's going to fit right behind this. Okay, so this is what we're going to stamp on. When you look in your die cut embellishments, or your die cut pieces, ephemera, they'll come in an envelope like this. You're going to have some ephemera pieces. 2 are going to be for your other card, and 1 is going to be for the front here. So let's look at what I have. So I have boots. I have a wheelbarrow. And I have a goose. Okay, so now you can choose which ones you want for your other card and which ones you want for this. I'm going to choose the wheelbarrow and the boots for my other card. I'm going to set those aside, and I'm going to use the goose for the front of my box. Okay, on this sample I had a bunny. Okay, this is the mama bunny that we stamped. So whoever you want to put on the front, I'm going to put the cute little goose here. Okay, and you can also stamp whatever you'd like from any of these sentiments. I'm going to stamp "Thank you so very much." Thank you so very much. And I'm going to stamp that in crumb cake. Now, in landscape orientation. Whoops, that was really loud. My blocks were stuck together. So when I stamp this, I'm going to stamp it off to the right because my little goose is going to go off to the left, right about here. So I want this to be visible on the right side. Okay. Thank you very much. Cute. And then my little goose will go next to it. All right. So I'm going to take, you could either do glue, I'm going to try tape runner and put some right behind the window here. And I'll line this up. Okay. Cute. And then I'm going to pop up my little duck with some dimensionals. I can't get dimensionals off for the life of me. goose. Little goose. Isn't he cute? He's so cute. All right, now we'll add dimensionals to this in a minute. Let's work on our box some more now. Okay, so this part here is the bottom of the box, and this part here is the top of the box. Okay, so we're gonna put our box together on the bottom. We're gonna leave the top open. Okay, so when you're looking at the box, this tab here is the bottom, this is the top. Okay, so let's add our DSP to these two panels. Okay. So here's one. And here's two. Okay, and then we can glue the box together. So I'm going to add some tape runner, and I'm going to fold this like this and line those two edges up, fold this up, line those two edges up. Okay, we'll have this tab that will close here and this tab that will close here. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of liquid glue on both of these tabs. So some right here, some right here, and then we'll close that up. Now your liquid glue is going to take a little bit of time to set, but it gives you the proper amount of wiggle room to line everything up. Okay. All right. You could use tear and tape too. Okay, so this will be the top of your box. And what I would do is I would do a little glue dot before I give it, like if I'm going to give this as a gift set, I would just do a little glue dot here to hold this shut. Okay, you could tie it shut with your ribbon too, but okay, you're going to have a long piece of ribbon. I'm going to use mine off the spool because I didn't cut mine, but you're going to have a long piece of ribbon that's going to go around the box, and we're going to tie it into a bow on the left side here. So I'm going to center this left to right. I think I'm going to trim mine here. So we'll center it top to bottom, and then we're going to tie our bow. Now I'm going to use my reverse tweezers to help me. Okay, and then I'll tie my bow. I am not the best at freehand bows. Pretty good. Okay, trim my tails. There. Okay. All right, now we can add our piece that we worked on the front. I'm going to add dimensionals, but I want it to go around the ribbon, so I'm only going to add dimensionals along the top and the bottom. So I'm going to add one here and here, and then here and here. That way we don't have any dimensionals over the ribbon. Okay, and there's our box. Now, as we finish our cards, we'll stick them in here. Okay, all right. Isn't it cute? Easy box. So you can use this template for all sorts of different boxes, right? So, and Now this box is sized to fit A2 cards, but you could put lots of things in here. Becky's terrible at bow making too. I always joke, I'm not really joking, but I never made bows before I had a bow maker because I can't make them. So tying them live gives me anxiety. I'm not good at it. Okay, let's work on, I don't want to say it's a hard card, but let's work on the most complicated card first, okay? So it's not that hard, but it looks like you put a lot of effort into it, which you did, or you will, but it's not that hard to make. So really, it's just 2 card bases. It has a regular card base here and then a smaller card base here. Okay, so let's go through and pull out the DSP we need. All right, we need this pattern for our plaid, and we need 2 sheets. I have, in my kit, I have 2 sheets of this. So this is what I'm going to use. You'll either have this pattern or you will have this pattern that you see back here. Okay, so 2 sheets of this pattern or 2 sheets of this pattern, whichever one you have, okay? Yes, Nancy Sue, it's such an easy card box to make. All right, so you'll have 2 sheets of that. Okay, so let's cut our DSP. All right. We need 4 panels that are going to measure 1 7/8 by 5 1/4 tall. 2 from this pattern and 2 from this pattern. So let's cut this pattern first, and I'll add them to the card so you can see what they look like. Okay, so now this one's non-directional, it doesn't matter. So you can just cut at 5 1/4. Hold on. Yes, 5 1/4, and then 1 7/8. So 1 7/8. We need 2 of those. 1 7/8 and 1 7/8. Okay. So that's going to be for this spot here. Okay. All right. Now we need 2 more panels that measure the same for right here, but they're going to be of your other DSP. Now this one is going to be directional, so just make sure that we're cutting it in the correct direction. Okay, so we're going to be doing 5 1/4 tall. So I'm turning this sideways. I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4 tall. And then they need to be 1 7/8 wide. So 1 7/8 and 1 7/8. Okay, so that is these 2 pieces for the inside. And now we need this background piece right here. This one is easy. This one is 5 1/4 by 4. So it's 4 wide. 4 wide. So in the portrait orientation, we're looking at 4 by 5 1/4 tall. Okay, so that's our inside piece back there. Okay, so that's the DSP for this card. This is all extra. Use it for your envelope, use it for another card, anything you'd like. Okay, we are going to do a little bit more cutting. We're going to pull out, for this card, we're going to pull out these 2 extra pieces that you have. They're very vanilla. Very vanilla and wild wheat. As we're coloring a little later, I'll tell you, I'm sick, but only after the kids were sick. I kind of figured I would get sick because they were sick, but it just is something that won't go away. Okay, so these are the correct height, okay? Which the height of the wild wheat is, let me get my ruler. It's going to be 2 7/8 inch tall. Okay, we're going to cut it how wide they need to be. So it's 2 7/8 tall, and we need 5 panels. So these are going to be each 2 inches. So we're just going to take this and we're going to cut it at 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, and your last panel will be 2. So when you make 4 cuts at 2 inches, you have 5 panels that now all measure 2 inches wide by 2 7/8 inches tall. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with our Very Vanilla, except these ones measure 2 3/4 inch tall. Okay, and they all need to be 1 7/8 inch wide. So we're going to make 4 cuts at 1 7/8. So here's 1 7/8, 1 7/8, 1 7/8, and 1 7/8. And when we do that, we now have 5 panels that are Very Vanilla that measure 1 7/8. And what all of these are going to do is they're matted here. Now before we mat them, we're going to stamp on them. Okay. Let me get the paper trimmer out of the way. So we are going to take our Pebbled Path ink and we're going to take this stamp. It is the brick wall right here from Storybook Friends. And we're going to put these on our desktop like this. And we're going to bring them in and stamp the wall on the bottom. Now, when you stamp your wall, sometimes stamp it toward the left side of the stamp. And sometimes stamp it toward the right side of the stamp. And sometimes stamp it in the middle. Alright, I'll do another one on the left, and I'll do another one on the right. Okay, so all 5 of our panels look just like this. Okay. Now we're going to take our blends and we're going to color all of these. So we need Pebbled Path, light and dark, and Old Olive, light and dark. Okay, so when we color the greenery, we're going to start with our Old Olive dark, and I'm just sort of adding some details in the dark, and then blending out with the light. And we're going to color each one of these. Now, when we get to the stones, we're going to start with our Pebbled Path dark, and I'm going to pick a few stones to go around with my dark and sort of outline here. I'm not doing every stone, just some of them. And then we will blend out with our Pebbled Path light and fill in all of those areas. Okay. All right. All right, so those are all colored. All right, we'll do that to every single piece. And when they are all colored, this is what they look like. Okay, so we'll have 5 pieces. Okay. Now, on 2 of them, we're going to stamp this little house. This little house right here. It's so cute. It's in the background. And I'm going to stamp that in wild wheat. Oh, which I don't have wild wheat on the list. We could do crumb cake. You could either do wild wheat or crumb cake. I'll do crumb cake since I have it out. And this is this little house, and I'm going to stamp this on 2 of these. Okay. And the house is in the distance here. Okay, there's 1 and 2. Okay, so there's the house. All right. Each one of these gets matted onto the wild wheat. Can anyone else believe that it's almost March? It was 52 degrees here today, which it's normally like 22 degrees, which is really funny. Okay, so 1 week ago today, the kids were home from school because it was cold. Actually, for 3 days last week, they were home. They went to school late because it was so cold. It was 35 below wind chill. 35 below wind chill. And now today, 1 week later, it was 53 degrees, 52 degrees earlier today. And they didn't have to wear coats at recess. So I don't know what to think of the weather. And I don't know how we have such a swing in, like, almost 100-degree swing, right? From 1 week to the next. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Kind of crazy. Okay, we have our panels. We have our DSP. Oh, let's pull out the bunnies we need. Okay, so we're going to do Mama Bunny. And we're going to do Daddy Bunny, which I think looks like Easter Bunny. And we're going to do this little bunny holding the lettuce. Sharon says we had a nice day here too, much nicer than last week. Yeah, I think everybody last week had kind of a crazy week, weather-wise, as far as weather goes across the country. So I don't know. I thought the Farmer's Almanac said it was going to be cold but not snowy, if I was correct about this winter. Sharon says I'll take it. Yeah, I guess I will too. The snow is almost melted here, which is not normal. It's not normal. We normally have like 4 feet of snow still. So, okay, you're going to pull out your basic beige and Lost Lagoon pieces from your pile, okay? So this is our little card base. I guess you could call it card base 2. I think that's what I call it in the PDF. And we'll burnish on all those score lines. Okay. Yeah, the weather here is just, I don't know. It's like spring has come already, I guess. You're going to have 4 Lost Lagoon panels. That's where we're going to put our DSP on that. This larger panel, our DSP will go here. And then this is our card base 1, I think. We do need to do a little bit of measuring on this. So really what we should do first is we're going to take this card base panel. I know it's hard to see the score lines on camera because of the light, but this is scored. So let me tell you the measurements. Oh, Maria says the snow's almost gone in northern Minnesota too. It's so strange. Yeah, Maria, you're not too far. So Maria's just a couple hours north of me, and it's normally really cold. So, sort of a long story. My mom is from Duluth, Minnesota, which is northern Minnesota, right on Lake Superior. And my grandma grew up there, and my mom moved down to the cities, to a city called White Bear Lake, when she was a kid. But she grew up in Duluth, and I spent a lot of time in Duluth as a kid because our family was there. So we used to go up and stay with them. And then when they had cabins, their cabins were further north. So probably not far from where you live, Maria. I don't know where their cabins were, but they were north of Duluth and still in Minnesota. So somewhere up there. But anyway, it's usually like 10 degrees colder up in Duluth than it is down in the cities. And just the snow up there is crazy. And I remember we used to go swimming on the lake. And when we first went swimming in April, maybe May, there was still ice on the lake. So we were crazy kids to go swimming, but the ice on the lake normally is up there for a really long time. And I don't think that's the case anymore. Don't you call it ice out, right? When the ice leaves the shore, it's called ice out. I didn't grow up on a lake, but... Okay, let's look at what these are cut and measured to. Okay, so card base 1 is 9.5 by 5.5, and it is scored on the 9.5 inch side, 1/2 inch and 2 5/8 inch from each end. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to measure down 1.5 inches on all 4 corners, and we're going to remove that little piece that we that we measure out. Okay, so I grab my pencil. So we're going to take our ruler, and there's a score line here. I know you can't, there you go, you can see it now. I'm going to measure down 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches? Is that what I said? 1.5 inches. Yep. So there's 1.5 inches, and I'm going to make a little tick mark. And then again, 1.5 inches here. 1.5 inches. Okay. And then I'll flip it over and do it here. 1.5 inches. And 1.5 inches. Maria says, yes, ice out. People place bets when it's going to be. Yeah. I bet they do. Okay, now what we're going to do is we made these little tick marks. We're going to cut along those tick marks to the edge of the cardstock and cut this little corner out. We're going to do that on all 4 of these corners. So I'll cut there, and then I'll trim this out. Okay. And same on this side. Cut straight in. And trim out. I'm not the straightest cutter. You could use your paper trimmer. I generally use a long pair of scissors when I'm doing this because I'm not great at cutting long stretches with my paper snips. Okay, now we will burnish these, and we have these little tabs that we made. Okay. Okay, so we have these cute little tabs. Okay. This is what our second card base is going to adhere to. Okay, so let's glue all of our DSP panels onto our Lost Lagoon mats. So here we have, oh, this is a pretty, see, now this is in wild wheat, this DSP. And normally I'd say I don't really like wild wheat, but in small amounts I think wild wheat is pretty. Just like on these little mats. In small amounts I think it looks good. And anything more than that, and it's not one of my favorites. Have to go, we'll catch the replay. Loving these cards. Thanks, Angelique. Have a good night. Okay. Get these lined up. Okay. And I love this pattern, this little garden. All right, who here has a garden? I do have a garden. It currently is growing weeds and has been for a couple of years. I have a really hard time keeping things alive. I'm not great at it. I try. I really do. but I don't really know what I'm doing. That's probably the problem. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to keep the things alive. Okay, then let's put these on our card base. Okay, so now all of these. Oh, here's an example of the other pattern that you'll have. Okay, so you either have this pattern or this pattern. All right, this is gonna go in the back. And then these two on the inside. Normally I would use glue. I'm only using tape runner for the purpose of the video because it's quicker. But normally I would use liquid glue. Whoops. Liquid glue is my go-to. Nancy Sue, my husband is the one with the green thumb. Yeah. My husband does all the heavy lifting. He'll load the garden with soil and all of that, but he has no interest in growing anything. I thought maybe this year I would try putting pots on the deck and seeing if I can grow things in pots. I don't know if that's realistic either, but maybe I'll try that. Okay, these are going on the front. That one's got a little hair on it. So I don't know, I might try a garden this year. I've tried in the past and it goes okay. Okay, I'm gonna bend these backwards over this. Okay, so here we have like the base of our card done. Okay. All right. It's pretty close. Okay. Before we adhere this and our panels to this, let's do a little bit of splatter. So I'm going to take my Lost Lagoon light marker. Now you could use a paintbrush and Lost Lagoon ink to do this, but this is a really quick way to get some splatter onto your panels. I'm going to move everything that I don't want splatter on. And I'm going to take my Lost Lagoon marker and I'm going to open the brush tip. I think this does ruin your tip, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm just going to kind of flick it and get some Lost Lagoon splatter on these pieces. Okay, so I'm just being gentle. I'm not overly strong-arming this. Just really gentle. And then you can clean up your surface with some alcohol. Okay, it comes off with some alcohol. All right, and so then we have splatter, and the splatter is already dry. So we don't have to worry about the splatter. If you splatter with a paintbrush and ink, you have to let it dry. So, okay, this is going to go in this shape. I don't know what shape this is, a hat. It kind of looks like a hat, like a top hat. Okay, and when we do this, the only thing that this is going to stick to are these little tabs here. Okay, so these little tabs are the only thing that's going to hold this card base number 2 onto card base number 1. So what I'm going to do first is adhere my pieces to the front of this. Now I'm going to do a little bunny on the front. So I think I'm going to put this one on the front. Again, I would recommend liquid glue. I'm going to do this one on the front. And then I'll do one with a house next. And then I'll do one without a house. This one's going to get the Daddy Bunny or the Easter Bunny, whoever that is. And then I'll do one with a house, and then the end one will be another bunny. So that one with no house. Okay. All right. so we have our little scene. I'm going to add tape runner here. And I'm going to add tape runner here. And what I'm going to do is close this up. Okay, so this center panel is going to go in the center of the card, right here. Okay, so I'm laying this flat. Line it up on your work surface. We're going to push this down with this exactly in the center. So centered top to bottom, left to right. And when we close this, or when we push this down, it's going to pick up on that adhesive right there. Okay. Now, it will take a little bit of burnishing and opening and closing. So the more you open and close this card, the better it will stay shut. Okay. My chair is very squeaky today. All right, so now we just need to add our images. But isn't it cute? Adorable. I don't know what you call it. Cute is what you call it. And when it stands up, I know you can't see it, but it looks like this on your desk, and it is so cute. Okay, this one, you're going to have to go into our die cut bag and get your little vanilla cloud. We're going to have a vanilla cloud. And in Lost Lagoon, we're going to stamp Somebody Loves You. Right here. You could stamp whatever you wanted. I'm going to stamp Somebody Loves You. Thanks, Becky. All right. My Lost Lagoon could be re-inked. Okay. Somebody Loves You. All right, and now we can add our pieces. So we're going to add this little bunny. He's going to go in the center, and this little bunny, and this little bunny. Okay, so all of these can get dimensionals. And then when we're all done, we can put the box, we can put the card in our box. And no. Okay. All right, so the sentiment is going to go on this right panel. So this is going to be Somebody Loves You. And she's going to stand right here. Okay. And little Easter Bunny guy in here. And little guy holding the lettuce in here. Okay. And that's it, guys. That's it for that card. Oh, we need a bow and our embellishments. We need a bow and embellishments. So you can put out as many embellishments as you'd like. You have more than enough. I'm going to add a few. So you get a ton of embellishments. Oh, and that one I didn't get the sticky off. Doesn't want to come off. There we go. Okay. And then we need a bow. And I use glue dots for my bow, but I don't know where my glue dots are. Here they are. There we are, with embellishments now. And of course a bow. Oh, and you could add embellishments to the outside too. Plenty of room for embellishments. Let's put a little one up here. There. Okay. And we'll add it to our box. All right. Let's move on to the next one that has some coloring. That's our little blue one here. It's Pebbled Path. And the DSP we're gonna need is this one right here. And you'll need your Pebbled Path card base. Now our DSP for this one is super easy. It's a card front, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay. I did not cut that right. I did not cut that by 5 1/2. I cut that by 5 1/4. All right, make sure you cut yours by 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I cut it at 5 1/4, so I'm gonna cut this one at 4. Make sure you cut it at 4 by 5 1/4. Will the box hold the envelope also? I don't know that it will hold 5 envelopes and 5 cards, especially because this card is so thick. I think it would probably comfortably hold 3 cards and 3 envelopes. Becky. It's 3/4 of an inch deep this way. So I think it'll probably hold 3 cards with 3 envelopes. Probably not 4 cards with 4 envelopes and one of them being extra dimensional. But if it didn't have such a dimensional card, yes. Okay, this is going to have Pebbled Path card base. When you cut this to be 4 by 5 1/4, it will. When you cut this to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, it'll fill the whole front. Mine is not going to because I was silly and cut it wrong. Okay, but this will fill the entire front of your card. Or if you like it with a mat, you could do it like that. All right, you're gonna have a white inside. Or not a white, a vanilla inside, 4 by 5 1/4. So you can stamp that however you'd like. I'm trying to see how I stamped it. Okay, I stamped it with this little garden in crumb cake and a little watering can. So this is the inside of my card. I'm doing this cute little garden in crumb cake, and the watering can, which is from this set, Storybook Garden Patch, this sweet watering can in boho blue, which I didn't pull out boho blue. Boho blue. All right, so that'll be the inside. Okay. All right, this is the front. We're gonna stamp on the vanilla piece, and I'm gonna stamp in the Misty. Okay, so let me get this lined up. Okay, so here I have the Misty, and now what you stamp on this piece is going to be different depending on what images you have. Okay, so I'm going to put my wheelbarrow here and my boots here. So now I need to stamp around this. So I'm going to take from my Storybook Garden Patch, I'm going to stamp, what do you call this? The rake? I think it's a rake here. And some strawberries here. And I think this is a spade. fancy word for a shovel. I'm going to stamp that here. And I'm going to stamp the carrots here. And I'm going to leave this little spot open right here for my sentiment. Okay. Bye, Nancy Sue. Yes, Milo's taking a nap. He's sleepy. Okay, so this is all going to get stamped in Pebbled Path, and we will color it. Okay, so let me get those out of the way. Here is Pebbled Path. Okay, that looks great. I can't find my chamois. Oh my goodness. Here it is. Couldn't find my chamois. Okay. Then I'm also going to stamp Happy Spring in Pebbled Path. And that's from this set. Happy Spring. Happy Spring. Okay, so that needs a black. I can't get this out. It's stuck. There we go. So this is going to go right here. Okay. And then we'll color. And this coloring is really quick. Okay. All right, let me get my cheat sheet out. Okay, the rake is Pebbled Path, Boho Blue, and Pecan Pie. So here's Pebbled Path Dark. And that's going to be this part of the rake. And I'm just going to add some shadows. The spade is also dark. Pebbled Path and then light Pebbled Path. So there are dies for these. If you wanted to color them out, to color them and then die cut them out, you could add some more dimension. Okay, the handle is Boho Blue. So I'm going to do my dark down one side and my light oh, whoops, I forgot the rest of the shovel. The spade. I think it's a spade. Or maybe it's a trowel. I don't know my garden tools. Now the wood, I felt like that was wild wheat. So we'll have dark wild wheat. And then light wild wheat. You could also use pecan pie. Okay, if you do have lettuce, like on one of the cards I have lettuce, that was Old Olive. Otherwise, on this carrot, I think I'll do Mossy Meadow. So for the detail, I'm just going to draw some lines with the dark. And then color in with Mossy Meadow light. Okay. Thanks, Sharon. Hope your appointment goes well. Okay, the carrot is Cajun Craze. So here I'm going to do the dark. Just going to draw along the lines. And blend in with the light. You could also do pumpkin pie for a carrot. Okay. And then the strawberries, the leaves are old olive. So here's our dark. And the little tops of the strawberries. And then light. And then the strawberries are cherry cobbler. So I'm going to do a little bit of dark around the tops of each strawberry. Kind of like a little V shape. And then light. Blend out with the light. Now I'm going to take my light pebbled path marker and do a little bit of splatter, just like we did with the Lost Lagoon. Here. So I'm going to take the light and take the brush tip and kind of splatter that. Okay, just a little bit. All right. Now before we add anything, let's put this onto our boho blue. Okay, and then this will get added to the card front with dimensionals. Okay. Oh my goodness. My Take Your Pick tool flew apart. All right, so we'll get this added on. If you are a demonstrator and you're going to onstage, you should let me know. I'd love to meet up with you at some point and say hello. Let's see, let's add these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maria, if you're still watching, did you decide where you're flying out of? It was really funny. Maria and I ended up being on the same flight. We didn't know each other, but we met at the airport, and we ended up sitting next to each other on our flight. I think on the way home, too. Isn't that funny? So we met each other on the way down, not knowing that we were on the same flight. Okay, and then I add a bow above the berries here. Okay, so your card might look a little different from mine based on what images you have. On what die cut images you have. Okay, and then you can add as many of these as you'd like. I like to add odd numbers, so 3 or 5 generally, but you can add however many and in whatever pattern. Okay, isn't that cute? All right, I'll see if I can add this in here, probably behind that one. All right, card 2. Okay. You're flying out of Duluth. Okay, and you'll be in earlier. I'll be in later. I don't think I get in until the evening. All right, let's do our petal pink card. So our petal pink card will use this pattern with the houses, and we're going to make it a full card front this time. and it's going to be a portrait top fold card. So it needs to be 4 1/4 wide by 5 1/2 tall. There we go. Thanks, Becky. All right, I got it right this time. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, let me get my sample out here. And we'll find our petal pink. Okay, and this can go on the card front. It's going to fit perfectly on the front of the card that we really need to burnish. And from our die cut pieces, we are going to pull out these two. Okay, so this is from the dies in Storybook Friends. Okay, so I die cut it twice, once from the vanilla and once from the pecan pie. This is our inside, and it needs to be cut to 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. All right. Let's stamp the inside. I like to stamp the inside first. So in Crumb Cake, I am going to stamp this little garden. Now, you could color in the garden, or you can leave it. It's up to you. Okay, I think I'm just going to leave the garden like this. Okay, that's our inside. We are going to stamp the garden on this little arch, and I'm going to stamp the little mountain of the garden. That's in Crumb Cake. And then we are going to take our Lost Lagoon and our blending brush and ink blend a little bit of Lost Lagoon on our sky here. So I'm going to start off my cardstock and ink blend around the edges here. So now we have a little blue sky. Okay. And then in our Lost Lagoon, we'll stamp, I think I stamped Somebody Loves You again. And I'll stamp that at the top. Hi, Sandy Coy Emery. Okay, Somebody Loves You. And this card will get our last two bunnies that we have. So this little bunny is going to sit on our little hill, and this little bunny is going to be like picking a carrot or a turnip or whatever that is. So I'm going to take Calypso Coral, Calypso Coral Dark and Light, and I'm going to color these little carrots. There's only a couple carrots, and they color really quickly. And we need Old Olive, Dark and Light. Oh gosh, we could just do light, I bet. They're so small. Okay, and then we'll do Crumb Cake. And Crumb Cake Dark and Light. So for Crumb Cake Dark, we'll just add some detail here and blend with our light. And then we have a cute little garden patch. These little bunnies in this garden patch remind me of, is it Mr. McGregor's garden? The childhood, I can't think of what the name of the, what the name of that book is. I can't picture it. Oh, and you know what? Before we put our DSP down, we were supposed to wrap our ribbon around it. We can do that. All right. You'll have a piece of ribbon that's about 5 inches and it's going to go around our DSP here. Of course, I forgot to do it. I'm going to add a little piece of tape to each end of my ribbon. You should make a tear and tape sandwich. Peter Rabbit! Yes, thank you. Peter Rabbit. I think there's even a little movie, if I remember correctly. All right, you should do this before you put your DSP down, and you should make a tear and tape sandwich. So this is about 1.5 inches from the bottom. Don't be like me, but if you are like me and you do this, look at this is how you can fix it. All right, there. It's almost like you didn't know I messed up. All right, and it's like Mr. McGregor's cottage here. It's just a cute story. Okay, now I want this frame to be in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to nestle this in here. And once I get it nestled in here, I am going to hold it in place with dimensionals. So I'm going to line it up and make sure that I cover with the dimensional all 4 corners. Okay. All right. Peter Rabbit. There's a really cute show. I don't know if it's on Netflix, but when my kids were really little, I remember finding it. And it's like a mixture of real people. And it's about the Easter Bunny. I can't remember what the name of it is. Maybe it's just called Peter Rabbit or something. I don't remember. But it was a cute movie. I think maybe they even have 2 of those. I don't think it was called Peter Rabbit. The movie. Hop? Is it called Hop maybe? I don't know. Okay, so when I was growing up, one of my favorite books was Harold and the Purple Crayon. I remember going to the library with my mom and going to the kids section and always finding Harold and the Purple Crayon. And I think I probably really liked it because I could read it, right? I could read Harold and the Purple Crayon. So I think that's why I can't find my glue dots. I think that's why I always picked it. But they came out with a movie. So there's a Harold and the Purple Crayon movie. It's not the best. It's not bad. But in the movie, Harold comes to the real world. He doesn't do that in the book, but you know, it was cute. Okay, so we'll add some pearls. All right. Some bunny loves you. Cute, right? Oops, my inside's not in here. Okay, now you could color the inside. You could color the inside garden to match. Totally up to you. All right. Okay, we'll add that one to our little box. It's getting full. It is getting full. Okay. All right. I'm out of beverage. All right, we have 1 card left, everyone. And it's one of my favorites. So the DSP, we're going to use 2 DSPs. We're going to use this one. Yes, Becky, the movie is Hop. That's what I was thinking. And then we'll use this one. So this is the pattern that you would have die cut this piece from for the front of your box, okay? All right, so this last card uses both of these, and one of them is the card front, and it's a full card front. So this is a landscape top folding card. So yes, aren't the antique pearls so pretty? I love that they're not white. I love that they're like vanilla. So, and that they seem to be bigger than the basic pearls too, and like flatter. They're really pretty. You're not going to see too much of this, so I don't know that it particularly matters which way you put your paper. But I'm going to cut mine at 5.5 with the ovals this way. I don't know how to describe that, but 5.5 by 4.25. Okay, so this is a full card front here. Okay, that will go on our card front. And now this panel measures 4 3/4 by 3.5. 4 3/4 by 3.5. Okay. All right, so this is our DSP. Now you do have to do one piece of die cutting on this card that I have not done. I did all of the other die cutting for you, except for cutting your garden. Okay, so in the Storybook Garden Patch dies, there is this small die. Yes, flatter is so nice. Yes. So it's this little die. And all you do is you line it up. Here's your pecan pie piece. Okay, it's longer than you need it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up here at the very top and die cut it. And I'm going to die cut it a couple of times. So you will do the same thing. Okay, so line it up at the top here. And let me die cut it once. Okay, and so when you look at this, it gives you the hill, but it doesn't die cut entirely. So what I did is I just die cut it once, and then I finished it off with my scissors. So I like to use a long pair of scissors, but then I just made a little hill. Okay, so I'm just making a little hill and connecting it right there. Okay, all right, that's how I did that. So everything except for that is done for you as far as the die cut pieces go. Okay, so this piece goes on our mossy metal mat. Okay, this goes on our card front. And remember, it fits the whole card front. Okay. And we have a whole bunch left in our die cut bag too. Okay, this is going to go on the front here, and of course it's quite long. I'm going to trim some of that off the bottom. I don't want it quite so deep, I don't think. Oops. I'm going to trim about 3/8 of an inch off the bottom. And we want it to span this area. So I'm going to cut it right there. Okay. Now before we adhere this down, we're going to do some ink blending. Okay. So let's pull out, let's do our stamping and our ink blending. Let's pull out our die cut pieces, and we need the rest of them now. Okay. So what we have, this is Pebbled Path and Very Vanilla from the Hot Air Balloons. This is Calypso Coral and Cajun Craze. This is Boho Blue and Misty Moonlight here. Okay. This carrot, you'll have to trim the edge off your carrot. So just round out your carrot. Okay, so this is Cajun Craze, and that's our little shovel in Pebbled Path, and then here's the top to our carrot in Old Olive. So I'll add the top to my carrot there. He's cute. So these two are already done. We're not going to do anything to these. We're going to do a little bit of ink blending on these two pieces and this piece. Okay, so we're going to do some pecan pie ink. We're going to add that to the top of our hill here. So let me see. Do I have a brown blending brush? I don't know that I do. Alright, I don't have a Stampin' Up brown blending brush, so I'm going to use the blending brush I do have. Oh my gosh, my blending brush just came apart. Well, that's not going to work. Hold on, please. Hold one moment. Alright, here's a different brown blending brush. So here I have pecan pie, and I'm going to ink blend onto the top here. And just give our dirt some dimension. Not a lot. It's tone on tone, so it doesn't add a ton, but it does add something. Okay. All right. Then we'll do a little bit of Cajun Craze onto our pot. So here's the pot and Cajun Craze, and I'm just going to do a little bit. This is a very vibrant color. I'm just going to do a little bit onto the corner here, onto the edge. Oh, it's making my nails. It's making my nails orange. Okay, just a little bit. And then lastly, we'll do some Misty Moonlight onto the flower pot, onto the flower pot. I guess maybe it is a flower pot. So then we need blue. Get out blue. And I'm going to do the bottom of the watering can. Okay. All right, let me get some alcohol. Clean this up a bit. It's on my finger too. All right. Making a mess today. Okay, so this is really easy. These go on. This goes on here. This needs glue. Normally I would glue all of these, but like I said earlier, for the sake of time, I'm using tape runner. All right, this fits nicely onto here. Okay. And then we can stamp our sentiment in Old Olive. So I stamped Happy Spring. And Happy Spring we used already, didn't we? Here it is, Happy Spring. Okay. So let's put this all together. All right, this is going to get popped up. This will get popped up. This will get popped up. And this will get popped up. And we we have to glue our garden down too. Okay, so this, make sure you have your card opened the correct way. All right. So this goes right in the center. We need to add our garden here at the bottom. Okay, and then we can add all of our pieces. So here I have our little pot and watering can that I missed the dimensional. There we go. Little watering can. Okay. Let's put some tape here. Happy Spring goes up here. Okay. Now these are little slits that are cut in here, so you can tuck in your little pieces. So I'm gonna tuck this in here. If I can get my take your pick tool in there. Come on now. There we go. So I'm gonna tuck the little shovel in there, like we're digging, right? And the carrot is gonna get tucked into the other one. Okay. Oh, and we need our inside. What should we stamp on the inside? Let's see, we stamped Happy Spring. What should we stamp? Should we do a little rake or a little shovel? Let's do a little shovel. I like this little shovel. Let's do a pebbled path shovel. Yeah, that's cute. Alright, that'll go on the inside. And then we need our pearls. One, two, three. Okay, there we go. Isn't that cute? What a fun die cut card. I absolutely love this suite. All right, let's see if we can fit all 4 of our cards in here. Okay, they're all in there. Now, you can't fit any envelopes because this one is so large. But if you took out the large one, you could definitely fit 3 envelopes in there. And then what I would do is put a little glue dot or a little Velcro dot right here, or like a half of the Velcro dot. And then you could give this as the gift. You wouldn't even need to wrap it. This would be the wrapping in itself, right? I should have taken a picture, you guys. I made the cutest A2 gift card bag to give away. Love the box and all the cards. They're gorgeous. Thanks, Becky. All right, so let me know which one's your favorite. Do you like the box the best? Do you like card number 1 the best? Do you like, which was card number 2? Was this card number 2? Card number 2, card number 3. I think I like this one because it reminds me of that childhood storybook. And then here's card 4. Oh, they're all super. Thanks, Maria. Let me count how many kits I have left. Hold on. Okay, I have 3 kits left. So if you did not get a kit or if you want another kit, I have 3 kits left. They're $45 each, and that's shipped to your home. Okay, so if you'd like a kit, I have 3 left. You can purchase them on my website with a credit card, or you can use, you can pay me, you can email me hello@browndogcraftcompany.com, and you can pay with PayPal or Zelle or Apple Pay or Venmo, really any way you want to pay. You can mail me a check or cash if you're fine with that too. So, okay, do you guys want to see Milo? He's snoring. Let me bring him over here. Let me make some room. All right, Milo. Milo Bear. Oh, let me get the camera flipped. Card number 1, card number 2. I know, I like them all too. I can't decide. I can't decide. All right, let me get Milo over here. And you all are going to see my pajama pants here. All right, hi, puppy. Do you want a snack? Do you want a snack? Say hi to everyone. Oh, say hi. Hi, Milo. Hi, Milo Bear. Hi. Are you hungry? Do you want a snack? Your ear is flippy floppy. Can you sit? Oh, that's a good boy. Can you give Mama a kiss? Mwah. Good boy. Your ear is flippy floppied. Your ear is flippy. Can you hear extra well since your ear is flipped up? Aren't these just the cutest treat? They're like these little, like gingerbread men, I think. But they're peanut butter. I don't know what they are. They're cute. Should I fix your ear? Okay, good boy. That's probably enough snacks, huh? Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everyone. All right, guys. Well, that's what I have for you for class today. I don't know that I could talk anymore. So I'm sorry. I know the cough is annoying to hear. I know the microphone picks that up. So I'm really sorry. Hopefully I will be all better by the time I have class again, which will be Sunday night for the floral class, the Floral Delight. What is that stamp set called? Delightful Wishes is the stamp set. So I have 2 kits left of those. Those are $45. So let me know if you want those. You'll be able to craft along with me on Sunday. And I think I'm doing class on Sunday at 7 if I'm not mistaken. So until then, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I know, I just sound awful. It's hard to sleep because whenever you cough, for whatever reason, the minute you lay down, you cough more. I don't know why that is. So it's hard to sleep. But other than that, I feel fine. I just sound not normal, obviously. So, okay. All right. Well, thanks, guys, for watching. If you purchased the class, thank you. I appreciate you. Remember to like and subscribe and share. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll have a party. I have lots of giveaways and we'll have a party. So, and I have a surprise once we get to 1,000. So we're really close, about 130 people away. So really close to 1,000, and that's my goal. So I'm hoping we can get there by summer, if not sooner. So, all right. Well, I will see you all Sunday. I hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and Milo's getting comfy again. Okay, have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you all next time. Okay, take care. We'll see you later. Bye now.